Ah, ladies and gentlemen, as of right now, recording this video, we are a little bit over a week of season one Rocket Racing. Now, how I know that is because leaks for Rocket Racing already starting to come out. For example, the title of Rocket Racing season one is called Neon Light. I don't know what that means, but it gotta be big. So, it, it gotta be around right around the corner. But anyway, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Young Squad, how y'all doing? My name is Young D. Sorry for the uh not introducing myself. Uh if you want banger videos like this one, more videos like this one, go ahead and subscribe and turn on that notification button for me. And for the people that do know me, I'd like to say I appreciate every single one of y'all, man. The love and support y'all been showing me have been feeling amazing. Even I'm getting people in the Discord. We got a lot of people in the Discord. I got some things coming up for the Discord, and if you want to join the Discord, there'll be a link in the description, or you can go to my YouTube bio. It'll be there too. Anyways, without further ado, let's get straight onto the video. All right. So for the people that didn't know, early on in my rocket racing video days, I made a video, and I titled that video "Every Mechanic You Need to Be Successful in Rank," or "Every Mechanic You Need to Be Successful in Rank." Yeah, that's exactly what I just said. And it was a pretty good video. Got to like 100 views, but at the time, my name wasn't spread around rocket racing as it is right now. So now I'm about to remake that video and make it better. I'm gonna go to make it better because this is every mechanic you need to learn depending on your rate. So we're gonna go through all of the mechanics. You see, we got bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, lead, champion, unreal. I'm about to show y'all each rank that you need to learn so you can move on to the next one. Because I know if I just do a mechanical video and people learning all of these mechanics at one time, it could be stressful. I'm gonna be honest. That would be an overwhelming video. But if you're in gold, then you don't need to learn platinum mechanics because you're not even in platinum. There's no reason for you to be in diamond and I'm showing you unreal mechanics. You're not even unreal. So this is every mechanic you need to learn depending on your rank. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. First mechanic we're going to start with is drifting. So right now, if you're a bronze player, all you gotta do is just learn how to drift. And to start your drift, do not use your analog. We don't use analog drifting around here. That's what that rocket drift button is for. So if you go to my controls, you can see mine is at R1. That's what's most comfortable for me. I know a lot of people come from Rocket League, and then they're changing over to Rocket Racing. Hey, if you want to copy your Rocket League controls and convert it to Rocket Racing, hey, be my guest. That's what's comfortable to you. Stick with it. This is comfortable to me. I'm gonna stick with mine. All right. Everybody's gonna be different. So to start up a drift, what you wanna do, all you gotta do is just uh move your analog to the direction you wanna drift and just press your rocket drift button once, aka your drift button. And then you're gonna keep a nice little smooth. And you're gonna drive like this. Boom, every time you hit a corner, you can just tap it once. Alright? And then don't do what I do. We ain't trying to hit the walls here. Boom. I'm just tapping it once. And you can see, look, and you notice the longer you drift, the better, because then your speed goes up to like 800 and you'll be just fine. Look at that. Boom. And just practice not hitting the walls. Right? This is all you're going to do in day drifting because in bronze, at least when I was in bronze, the only map I ever got was day drifting. So, look, there's nothing too shabby. That's all you're really doing. And then, boom. And That's literally the first mechanic you need to learn in bronze. Now we're going on to silver, doing the same thing. All right, silver players, we're doing the same thing, except now we're gonna add a little sauce. We're gonna add a little sauce to it. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna be driving, right? Same thing we're doing in bronze, but now we're adding on to it. This time, you're gonna be drifting, 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 and you're gonna cancel it. You're gonna be canceling your drift. And how to cancel your drift? Well, like I said, to start a drift, just put your analog or your arrow key if you're on PC to what direction you want to drift in. Press your drift button, and once your car has a nice safe spot, what you're doing is you're going the opposite way of what you're drifting. So if you're drifting, if your arrow key or analog is to the right and you're drifting to the right, you're gonna hold it to the left, and you're gonna press your drift button once again, and your car will straighten out. As you can see, for the example, I'm drifting right, hold my analog to the left, and then boom. I'm drifting left, hold my analog to the right, and I'm pressing my drift button again. Drifting right, hold my analog to the left, and then boom, we're straightening it out. That's all we're doing. I'm drifting to the left, holding my analog to the right, pressing my drift button once, so we can cancel our drift, and we can keep our race going. So remember, bronze just need to learn how to drift. Silver players need to learn how to cancel your drift. And like I said, if you're drifting to the right, what you're gonna do is hold your arrow key or your analog to the left, and you're gonna press your drift button once to cancel your drift. Now, doing the same thing on to the gold players. For the gold players, at this point, you should be able to know how to drift, how to cancel your drift, and also how to chain drifting. Now, gold, this is where you start getting a little bit more advanced and you get to the most important, one of the most important mechanics in the game, chain drifting. Don't know what chain drifting is? Is you if you chaining drifts together to keep your boost and your momentum going throughout your race. So as you can see from the straightaway path, what you're gonna do, you're gonna pick a direction to drift in, whether it's left or right, and you're gonna drift, 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 but you're gonna hold on to your drift button, and then you're gonna move the opposite direction of what you're drifting. So for example, if I'm drifting to the left, right? I'm drifting. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep holding my drift button, and then we're gonna switch sides, we're gonna drift to the right. And if done perfectly, you will have something like this. And then boom. Right? Boom. Boom. Look at that. Pain drifting down the way. And just like what silver players do, once you get enough boost momentum for your chain drifting, you're just gonna cancel it whenever you're ready. Boom. 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 I'm drifting to the right. Now I'm holding left. I'm holding my drift button so I can drift to the left. Boom. And then at this point, I'm drifting to the left, holding my analog or my directional key to the right so I can drift to the right. And then you're off to the races. Boom. That's what you need to start learning in gold, people. Like I said, there's levels to this. We're starting to get a little bit more advanced. A little bit more advanced. So now, like I said, gold players, what I'm gonna do, I'm drifting to the left, then I'm gonna hold my analog to the right, and then pressing my drift button again. Or if you have it on PC, you'll be pushing your arrow key to the left, and then you're gonna hold it, hold it, hold it, and you're gonna flip to the right, so you can start your chain drifting. So you see, I'm drifting to the right, holding my analog or my arrow key to the left, and I'm pressing my drift button. And then once I got the drift that I want, all you gotta do is just, you know, straighten out your car and cancel it, which that's something I taught you in silver. So remember, just because I teach you one mechanic in your rank doesn't mean you neglect the mechanics that's in the lower rank. Eventually, your goal is to learn all the mechanics all at one and then come out with your own play style however you want to race. So drifting to the right, hold it to the left, and we flipping it. And boom. So now on to platinum. If you're a platinum player, right? My thing is we're gonna double down. Now you're gonna learn the advanced mechanics of chain drifting and regular drifting. So if you're in platinum, just know these are the advanced version of drifting and chain drifting. So obviously we know how to drift. At this point, if you're in platinum, you know how to drift and you know how to start a chain drift, right? So now we're gonna advance those up. So we're gonna do, let's say you get your chain drifting going, boom boom. You're gonna drift. You wanna hold your drift a little bit longer around some corners, right? You can see I'm at 800. I'm a chain drift. You saw my speed was decreasing. That's when you want to end your chain drifting, right? Boom. I'm holding the 765. I saw my speed decreasing. That's when I start ending my drift. I'm at 801, and then my speed started decreasing. As you can see, this is what we're going to be doing. And then we're going to be chain drifting. Don't hit the wall. And we're going to keep going. Boom. Look at that. And if you keep doing this, you'll keep your speed up throughout your whole race. And then you'll notice you'll be a lot more faster than what you were doing when you was in a lower rank. Chain drifting, chain drifting. We're ending it right when my speed started decreasing. Chain drifting, and then boom. All right, platinum players. Along you keep working on the advanced version of drifting and chain drifting. Just make sure you watch out for your speed, so you can have the max momentum in your drifts. Now for the diamond players, at this point, now you're one step away of hitting elite, or one grind away of hitting elite. And now I'm about to show y'all something. I'm about to show y'all another mechanic you need to learn as a diamond player, and that is air drifting. So what air drifting is, it's a mechanic that you can use while you're in the air and drift mid-air. Now I'm not saying you're about to be drifting on like thin air, but basically what you'll be doing, you'll be holding your drift and putting it somewhere else that's more reasonable, and you'll be a lot more faster than what you usually were. And the map that does the most air drifting is Lazy Lake 2. So before we get into Lazy Lake 2, Diamond players, if you haven't already, like I said, go to your controls and make sure your drift button, your rocket drift, and air dodge button is on two separate buttons. All right, just make it two separate buttons. Trust me, it will help you in the long run. All right, diamond players, there it is. That's will be your air drifting, and that's just me holding my drift in midair. I did again. Boom. Look at that. Now, obviously, if y'all noticed throughout these training videos, I have not been using my turbo. There's no need for the turbo. Air drift again. All right. Now I basically showed you air drifting. So at this point, if you're a diamond player, um, you should learn how to drift. All right, so that should be nothing new. Um, I taught drifting in bronze, drift cancel in silver, chain drifting in gold, and platinum. The advanced versions of mastering the techniques of drifting and chain drifting, really drifting in general. So now as a diamond player, now all you're really doing, you're starting your drift and just holding it in mid-air. You can see, and basically all I'm doing to make sure the game knows I'm on an air drift. I'm just holding my drift button. As you can see, boom, boom. No matter what I do, every time I land, I'm always drifting. Every time I jump, my drift never cancels because all I'm doing is holding the button, and then, oh well, all I'm doing is holding my drift button and jumping in mid-air. So, boom. Look, wanna know why I said make sure you keep your drift separate, your air dodge and your rocket drift button separate? And because now, while I'm holding my drift, I can I can do a flip. I know I haven't been teaching flips, so that is just an honorable mention. Flipping is not really important in the game. You can easily just change your flipping to a jump. See, boom, boom. This is basically advanced version of chain drifting. I mean, this is the advanced version of air drifting. So yeah. So basically, if you want to practice your air drifting, Lazy Lake 2 is the perfect map to do it. And guess what? You get this map in gold, but at this point, doing this right here will make it seem like you're in freaking an elites just by doing this. Watch, I'm not even gonna flip. I'm literally just gonna jump. It still does the same thing. Boom. You're gonna do your drift cancel. Boom, boom. So like I said, diamond players, get some practice in. It's gonna take a time getting used to. But once you get used to air drifting, when you race, you will know there are certain spots where you can do air drifting, and it just make your time faster than what you need it to be. Around like each track, right? Each track you can do an air drifting. You just gotta find where to properly air drift. So now we're getting into the three musketeers of ranking: elite, champion, and then unreal. So at this point, if you were into elite, congratulations. Give yourself a pat around the back. You know, clap for yourself. Clap for yourself. At this point, with you being elite, that's mean you should already have is on your way or probably already have mastered, the drifting, chain drifting, and you should be a little bit more advanced in the air drifting department. Now in elite, we're going to stray away from the drifting part and we'll go on to the nitty gritty of the mechanical side of rocket racing. So obviously at this point, y'all know in rocket racing, basically if there's a route, you can take it. All right. Um, in rocket racing, you'll see there's a lot of inverted tunnels that you drive on. Some of them might have boost, some of them probably don't have boost. Um, so far, so forth. It don't even have to be an inverted tunnel. It can be a road that's inverted and it has like booster pads underneath, talking about tilted turnpike, anarchy arches, those type of maps. All right. I'm about to show y'all one mechanic that can conquer all inverted tunnels. Don't believe me? Let's get straight to it. But before we do, since we're going to be talking about inverted tunnels or inverted pathways, I want y'all to go to y'all settings and go all the way over right here. The game options of Rocket Racing. I passed it. What you're going to do? Invert steer method. Now, if you want to copy everything that I do, go ahead and change this inverted steer method into immediate. So basically it means as soon my car is uh is inverted, it's going to immediately flip my directions. Now some people put it on default, I put it on immediate. I don't know people that put it on delayed or even never. So but right now, it seems like two popular options, default and immediate, for what I've seen so far. If you want to put on delayed or never, go ahead. But just know that uh, what I'm saying is going to be different from your controls. Now, inverted, this inverted method. We're gonna go to the first inverted tunnel. That's pretty simple to learn. Festive Falls 2. Boom. And this mechanic is called Slingshots. Alright, alright, elite players. Slingshot. As you can see, we're playing in Festive Falls, the first one, not the second one. And you see, we got a little tunnel, right? Now this tunnel got booster pads on top of the tunnel, and in order to get to them, obviously you're gonna have to flip your car into that direction. Now, drifting inverted could be a little bit difficult to get used to, but the more you do it, eventually you'll get better and better, and then you'll be able to drift in all inverted tunnels. So as you can see, we're gonna go and do. We're gonna be drifting. We're gonna be drifting. Obviously, this is not the mechanic. We're getting close to it. And we're gonna do. We're gonna hold your drift, and as soon you exit the tunnel, right, you wanna flip the other direction. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the slingshot mechanic. So, and then as you can see, I'm drifting, I'm drifting. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, I'm drifting to the right, I'm drifting to the right. And then, as soon my car exits out from the tunnel, since I'm drifting to the right, I do a air dodge to the left. And you're gonna get that little mechanic boost like I did. Ready? Hold it there. Boom, boom. And then, and that right there is Slingshot. So now we're in Curvy Canyon 2, get into the tunnel section. Ooh. And I'm gonna show y'all another variation of the Slingshot. So at this point, I'm gonna drift, I'm gonna drift, I'm gonna drift. Boom. And just like that, that is the Slingshot version of Curvy Canyon. So basically, you're gonna follow the same steps, except in this one, you drifting to the left, and as soon as you exit out the tunnel, do not air dodge right. Just let your car flip itself, and then you just keep on holding on to that until you get on top of the until you get to top of the tunnel. You're gonna drift, and then your car is gonna immediately flip itself, as long as you don't air dodge right. Like as soon as you exit out of the tunnel for Curvy Canyon, just hold your drift, let your car flip itself, land on top of that other tunnel, and at that point, just start your drift already. And that is uh alternate version or this another version of the slingshot mechanic. But there you go, elite players. That is the slingshot mechanic. All right. Now time for the next rank, champion. All right. Now that we're in the champion, the one mechanic y'all should learn in champion is again, notice how it comes a full circle. there is a pattern throughout my whole video. It's going to be drifting. That's it. Drifting. As a champion player at this point, you should be drifting like your life depends on it. Trust me. The longer you drift, the better you will when you hit around these corners. And on top of that, you're gaining boost while you're drifting. I know I didn't mention in this video, but when you're drifting, that's how you gain turbo. So the fact that literally basically every mechanic has been about drifting, except for the slingshot mechanic. But guess what? You start the slingshot off with adrift. So like I said, throughout this whole pattern, my whole video has been about drifting, 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 because drifting is the most important mechanic in rocket racing. I made a video on it saying the only mechanic you need to rank up, etc., etc., and it still translates to this video. So now, as a champion player, you should be drifting like your life depends on it. And I'm gonna show y'all what a proper drifting, like your life depends on it, means. Notice how clean my runs will be. At that point, I that game didn't cancel, but the game didn't cancel for me. But it's alright. Notice how clean, how nice my drift is. I'm literally holding it to the last possible second as I can. Boom. And you would know when to stop drifting when not only your speed starts decreasing, right? That's another key factor. But you will know when your car start feeling a little bit slow. All right? And you won't notice that until you start drifting more. But once you feel your car is getting slow, that basically means, all right, time to end up your drift. You're drifting a little bit too long now. And if you can time it right before your car gets slow, you can really maximize your drift around each track. I ain't saying I have gotten to that point of drifting, but I know my drifting definitely got better than what I used to be. And then, boom. Now you can see, I drifted like my life depended on it. Now I'm not gonna go. Now I'm not gonna make it to a 3 minute section. At this point, champions, everything I taught you is up to you to master it and to further your drifting skills. Drift like your life depends on it, champion. I'm telling you. Now, each track is going to be different. Some tracks you can drift like your life depends on it, and then there's other tracks where you're gonna have to shorten up your drift so you don't mess up, your run. That's up to y'all of which track that will be. But like I said, other than that, either way, drift like your life depends on it. Since I didn't say it already, if you actually made it to an elite and then champion, give yourself a big round of applause, man, because it means at that point you're about to be less than the top 1% of rocket racers. All right, once you hit elite, you're part of the top 1%. It used to back then it used to be like a diamond 3. Now if you're an elite, you're part of the top 1%. And now we're getting to the unreal mechanics. Now you're wondering if I taught Champion that, to drift like their life depends on it, what am I going to show the unreal players? Well, nothing. If you did everything I did and you was in Champion and you made it to Unreal, you made it, man. You made it. There's really at this point, if you stop playing Rocket Racing, start playing something else because you hit Unreal, hey, I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. I'll see you on to the next season, and maybe there'll be a new mechanic to learn for the next season. But now this part of the video is for the people that want to be the overachievers. We'll say that. People who made it to Unreal, but just their story is just not done yet. As you can see, for me, back in, when matchmaking was amazing, and I guess my prime of just playing ranked every day, your boy was top, was number 23 on the leaderboard, all right? My story was not finished and hitting number 23. Obviously, I wanted top 20, but I just couldn't make that final push. And now I can't even make that push at all. But for the people that just hit Unreal and want to be into, let's say, top 5,000, top 1,000, top 500, top 100, guess what? You got to be overachievers. And I'm about to show y'all all of the mechanics that I didn't get to mention in, you know, uh in the video, because at the end of the day, they're not really important. At this point, they're just for flashy. Um some of them is for flash, some of them is literally can help you depending on what track you're in. So, Unreal players, get ready. These are the overachievers slash, what I like to call the honorable mention mechanics that I haven't mentioned in the video. So with flipping, all you basically doing, you're starting up a drift on one direction, you're jumping up, and you're flicking your analog or your arrow key into the opposite direction. So if I'm drifting right, basically what I'm doing, I'm gonna jump up, flip my analog, uh uh or flick my analog or flick my arrow key to the left, and I'm hitting my air dodge button, and then my car is gonna flip. So that's the one mechanic that I'm about to show y'all. Pretty straight and simple. Nothing really to make a whole 2 minute video about. We're just gonna be like this. Boom, flip. Go right here. Boom, flip. Right here, flip, 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 flip. All right. It's pretty that simple. All right. So the next mechanic I'm about to show y'all, right, is the tilting mechanic. So basically, all the thing the tilting is like when you have a large gap like this. Basically, you're gonna do is you're gonna jump and you're gonna either tilt your analog down or tilt your arrow key down, and you're just gonna hold it like that, and you basically just your car is gonna like raise its you see I can travel that much. Now if I held it down, guess what? Obviously it's gonna go straight down. Boom. And then if I just do a regular jump, you see eventually my car's gonna gravitate down. Right? I'm show it again right here. I can easily just do this. Boom. Now obviously if I just hold my tilted mechanic up, you can see I'm traveling a lot further than what I did when I just didn't even tilt my mechanic or tilt my analog or direction key. We're gonna go into another mechanic, and this one is gonna be about mag flipping. Now, mag flipping is not really a mechanic you can actually really do. You just gotta. Oh my gosh! I hit the double booster pad. That's amazing. So, explaining the mag flip. It's something. There we go. I really can't explain a mag flip. I'm gonna be honest with you, but just know a mag flip is something where you flip to a surface, but since your car can't really gravitate to that surface, it's basically treating you like a magnet because your car is trying to stick to that one surface that you flip to. But since you're going fast enough, your car is never going to stick to that to that surface, and you're basically acting like a magnet, and it can actually shave off a second or two if done right, depending how really good the mag flip is. Now, there's another mag flip section I'm about to use, and then I'm gonna hit this. As you can see, that was a mag flip. My car tried to gravitate to the tree, but since it can never reach the tree, it just treat me like a magnet, and you get that little mechanic throughout your race. Now now there is mechanics, or there is mag flips throughout the map that people have found, and then there's also mag flips that people haven't found yet. And you never know, you'll be able to find the next mag flip that can actually help you with your race. Now, even though mag flip is a mechanic that unreal people tend to use, it also can be a curse. You can also hit a unwanted mag flip where it will gravitate you into a wall or to a barrier, and you end up with killing yourself, ruin your whole race, ruining your first play, etc., etc. But hey, like I said, mag flip is a blessing and a curse in disguise. All right, on to the next honorable mention mechanic.
Hey, young squad. So, and for this mechanic, I had to speak through it while I was editing. I wasn't able to do this while I was um recording, actual recording. But this mechanic, it is called turn buffering. Now, if you don't know what turn buffering is, that's because it's a new mechanic that one somebody in our community actually found. You might know him. His name is Zick. He used to be number two on the leaderboard, but then he kind of took a break from the game because all the bugs and everything that's happened. So hopefully, Zick is doing well. We'll be able to see him back into season one of Rocket Racing. Doing what he do best, conquering the game like no other. So turn buffering is essentially something you can do in Anaconda, but I'm pretty sure you can also do it in any other map. So basically, it's gonna be right there. That's literally the mechanic. Now, if y'all don't know what I did, it's it's like right when I used my boost, right? Y'all saw me. I did a little drift, and right there in between that drift, I did a drift cancel, and then that's when I started another boost. Or I did the boost extension, and then I quickly turned to start for my drift. Now, if done perfectly, you should be catching a lot of speed around that corner. And then, if you don't hit it perfectly, which I'm about to show you, you see, just like that, you see how slow I was? Let's do it again. This one, I'm about to show you when I hit it perfectly. And this one will be when I don't hit it perfectly. And then you will notice the speed difference. When I hit it perfectly, I'm a lot faster around that corner. And if I don't hit it right, I'm a lot slower around that corner. Just pay attention to my speed. You see how when I mistime my turn buffering, I end up hitting a wall and it ruined my whole speed. And that ruining the whole speed basically ruins the whole flow of the map. Like I said, it's if not done correctly, you're going to be slower around the corner. But when you do hit it perfectly, guess what? You're going to be faster around that corner and you can conquer Anaconda's sharp ass turns. And now, essentially, how I end up doing turn buffering is going to be right here. I use my drift. When I use my drift, I drift it to the left. And then after that, I straighten out my car. And as soon as I straighten out my car, I make sure that's when I use my boost extension right in the middle so I can get that extra boost. And essentially, while I'm doing this, I'm also doing a chain drifted immediately after. So that's what you're gonna start your drift to the left, drift cancel, boost extension, and then keep holding your analog to the right hand side like you're doing a chain drift, and just keep holding it, and just work on the timing of the release. If you have more practice like that, then guess what? You will hit your turn buffering and you will hit that corner smooth as possible. And at that point, you're definitely going to be among other racers because not everybody even knows about this mechanic or even know how to properly do this mechanic. Only probably like literally, probably if I want to be honest, that might be like 10, 15 people as a whole in the community that probably knows about this mechanic and how to properly execute it. And I like to say, I'm one of them. But if you keep on practicing, you can raise the gap. You know, maybe literally only the top Unreal players would know about this mechanic. Like literally less than the top 1% can know how to execute this mechanic. And you know, in season one, we could see a lot more of people using turn buffering. But hey, you know, who knows, man? The future could be bright for rocket racing with mechanics like this.
Alright, young squad, that'll be it for today's video. That's literally every mechanic you need to learn depending on your rank. I even did honorable mention mechanics like mag flips, flipping, tilting. I even showed y'all turn buffering. Unfortunately for that last one, I did had to do it while I was editing. You had to talk while I was editing. I couldn't really explain exactly what it is. um, I had to do a breakdown of it, so obviously I did it while I was editing. So that's why, audio feels different when I switch. But now we're back. I'm recording it live on time. Hear that snapping. But yeah. Anyways, comment down below if there's a mechanic that I actually missed. I believe I kind of hit every mechanic in the building. Um, there was mechanics that I did show in my last video, but game got different. Game is way different now, and those mechanics are no longer available. Um, but yeah, and it was Young Squad. I hope you like it. Hope you enjoyed the video. And Young D is out of here. Deuces.